What's up, witches, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so grateful to be giving you this reading today. We are doing a what's next in career reading. All messages here are general and in your highest and best, so everything is meant to be useful. If you get a message that is not useful or does not serve you, just leave it where it is. It was probably for somebody else, and you always have the free will to make changes and adjust accordingly if there's something that doesn't really resonate with your highest alignment during the reading. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right in. We have the timestamps below to jump straight to your reading from pile 1, 2, and 3. Make sure that you've liked this video and subscribed to my channel to continue a solid energy exchange throughout this reading, and without further ado, we'll just hop right in. Hello, pile 1. Welcome to your what's next in career reading. I'm so excited to be giving you this reading today. I'm doing a little bit of a different format where I have all of the cards laid out for you ahead of time. Today we're working with two Kim Cran's decks. So we have the archetype and the spirit animal deck from her. We have the Black Moon astrology deck. We have the Ethereal Visions tarot deck. We have the Runes for Modern Life Oracle and the Lakshmi Oracle. So, and I also have some Astro Dice here, which I think we're going to actually start with the Astro Dice because I want to see what sort of timelines we're working on, dominant types of archetypal energies with the zodiac and the planets, etc., and just kind of get an overall feel for pile number 1. Okay, so we have a 7 and we have Libra. So Libra rules the 7th house. This can have to do with partnerships. And then we also have Pluto here. So that can be kind of like a Scorpio energy. There we go. Sorry, that flipped over. So, and we could also say that this is a 7-month timeline. We could say, you know, it could be even a 7-year cycle, a week-long cycle. 7 could just be a significant number. Libra could be a significant season, so Libra season, which is around October. And then the Pluto, any certain Pluto transits or Scorpio season could also be relevant, and also these signs could be significant as well. All right, and then looking further into the astrology of things and those archetypal energies, we have the Grand Cross Provoker in the 10th house, the World. So the 10th house is ruled by Capricorn, and the Grand Cross is sort of an aspect or a dynamic or an angle that pushes us forward, and it could feel like we're being like we're kind of struggling, like there's some sort of colliding of time and space. It could feel like a tight fit, if you will. It could be big change, agitation, something major happens that propels us forward. So you do have a major event, something that feels divinely orchestrated coming to shift your world. So you will have an obvious turn of events in your career life. I'm also guessing that with the 7th house and Libra showing up, that this could have to do with partnership. And when it's next to 10th house, the World, you or your partner or both could be coming into a time where your public status is increasing, you're becoming more well-known, you're recognized, you get a raise, you might be interested in purchasing property or land or moving. This is all to do with kind of the status and working really hard for this next phase of blessings in work life. So there will be a lot of hard work and likely also a lot of money, and partnership will also be involved in some way. And partnership doesn't necessarily have to be about loved ones. It could also be new business partnerships. You could be meeting new people of higher status. They might have a lot of work for you. So something about your work life is certainly upgrading, but it could be happening through a plethora of lenses. So we could be meeting a new business partner, coming into contact with someone who's higher up, coming into a new line of work or a new set of responsibilities, getting some sort of raise. Someone higher up in our company could recognize us. A loved one or a partner could have an opportunity that we are in on, or we might bring a loved one in on an opportunity. So those are just some thematic manifestations of these astrological archetypes here. And I want to say, when we look over here at the Lakshmi Oracle, we have Sri Radha, which is the supreme goddess of love. And we see Krishna over here and Lakshmi. So there is this sense of divine union that's kind of hovering around you. So the timelines of union could be colliding with your work life. So love is definitely hand in hand with your career in some way, shape, or form. There could just be shifts as simple as, you know, their schedule is changing, or you get a new partner. You know, things could minorly happen in your love life that affect your work life, and vice versa. Then we have, so I see some interesting things here. So when we have, and I'm not probably going to pronounce this right, Aruz, this is a rune, and this rune is all about working very hard, going up against challenges, strength. It's associated to the ox. So there's this sense of determination side by side with 10th house, the world. Capricorn is the goat. So we have this sense of, you know, almost like I'm going to stop at nothing to attain my goals or my desires or my preferred level of status and wealth and recognition. I don't care how much work it takes. And when we look over here, we have the Three of Pentacles, the Well, the Hermit, and the Six of Cups. So what I'm really seeing here is there's this sense of, I'm going to stop at nothing to be fulfilled. I understand that my path is going to be one that is a unique membership, if you will, of all of my tools that I've collected along the way. So both traditions that have served me, structures and institutions that have served me, having a solid routine, like you've been refining all of your wisdom and all of your tools. You know what routine sort of works best for you. Maybe you're working at the kinks of your work schedule. Maybe you're starting to understand your role in an establishment that you work in. But by the same token, you're kind of in an isolated position. So you could be the only one on your team. You could be an independent contractor. You could be wanting to start a business that is unique to your skill set. So there's a sense of pioneering in the wisdom that you've attained here. Six of Cups makes me feel like people that work around you will be close to you. You may be working to start or support a family. There could be a sense of your inner child being very proud of how far you've come and continuing to be very proud. So your inner child is definitely recognizing and feeling healed by all the hard work you've been putting in, and it will continue to fulfill you. Now in the Ethereal Visions Tarot deck, there is a couple of extra cards, one of which being the Well, which you have here. And the Well is going to signify a level of artistry or unique touches that we put into our work that fulfill us in return. So we have something unique or special that we're bringing to the table. We have a skill that maybe no one else on the team has, or we're being recognized for the uniqueness that we provide. And people are definitely recognizing us when we do have the Goddess of Love. Here, it's kind of like, you know, maybe your workplace feels like there's a sense of kinship around it. People are starting to really or they will be coming in to show you more appreciation, or there's this sense of like, thank you for providing, or gratitude, that's what I'm looking for. There's a sense of gratitude that surrounds you even if you don't know it, because you're very busy working hard, so you may not realize how many people, both in your home life and in your work life, are very proud of you and recognize your strength. And I'm not sure, and that is solidified here in the Three of Pentacles. Three of Pentacles is associated to Mars and Capricorn. So this is the mixing of older and younger energies, new ideas and old structures. So again, we have these recurring themes of, I've taken all of the tools that I've been given. I've taken the structures, the teams of people. Maybe you're connecting people in the future. You're kind of a go-between for departments. Maybe you're, again, crossing over your skill set and your passions to form a new business of some sort. And all or none of these could be close or far from the truth. So I'd like to say I'm just kind of throwing out and spitballing, if you will, ideas of how these things can manifest. But the underlying theme here, the overarching theme is what I was going to say, is that you are working very hard, and there is an increase of abundance, money, and recognition coming your way. This could be happening through friends, family, feeling more supported in the workplace, and also the odds are in your favor when it comes to being successful at something specific that you're working on that you're also passionate about. And it's even likely that you're someone who both has a passion, business type of thing, and a legitimate job, right? So, and then we've covered all these, but I kind of wanted to cover both of these at the same time. Now, amidst all of your hard work, amidst your ability to be balanced and call in more luxury and status, etc., you're very much so matching what you want. Like your manifestations, I'm feeling the sense of you've matched it. Like, you know, your manifestations will take a lot of energy, work, and drive. You've cultivated those habits, so you're unstoppable. You're an unstoppable force. You have that ox energy. Yes, it's hard, but you don't stop and you will get there. That's in the cards. I'm pretty sure you can't change that. This is something that you were gifted with when you were setting up your soul contract, that you were going to be a unique individual who both had practical skills that would cross over with some sort of passion, and you would find success no matter where you directed yourself. I do get the feeling that you want to be a structured person, and you are starting to come into the fact that, you know, structure and hard work does serve you, but there is something you're hiding, right? The gem takes so much time and pressure underground, where the oyster grows a pearl, and there's also a lot of time and patience that comes with that. But both cultivate something special and unique and very beautiful, if you will. So amidst all your hard work, don't think for a second that you aren't coming up with something new. You may think you've got it all figured out, but there are some hidden gems that you're going to continue to come across, or you've already come across one. So a nugget of information, a special collaboration, a partnership, some sort of, some sort of passion that kind of takes off because you get that right step right in front of you, and you're like, okay, wait a minute, maybe it was just a matter of time before some of these things took off and showed results. So don't stop in your passionate areas too, because something about your heart-driven work is going to really, really be that final grand layer that you've been looking for. So keep on with your responsibilities, but do note that your passions are also going to be paying off very soon here, and love life also is very blessed. So pile one, this is a wonderful pile that I'm glad I got to start off reading for. I'll keep it brief and sweet. It looks like you have a lot of beauty ahead of you. The hard work definitely won't stop, but it's going to pay off very nicely. Stay in your passion, stay in your routine, and stay out of trouble. And until the next time, please make sure you subscribe to my channel also. I'll see ya. Bye. Hello, Pile 2. Thank you so much for joining me in your reading today. I'm so grateful to be giving this to you. I want to start off by touching bases with your crystal, because you chose the Tibetan quartz, which is from a very high altitude, and to me has always just represented the sense of beauty and clarity and being able to oversee everything and not try to control what's going on ground level, but keeping that high vantage point outlook on things, that balanced sense of knowing rather than falling into fear-based needs to control or examine too closely. So there may be a need to kind of zoom out for you right now and look at the overall picture and escape some of those minor day-to-day anxieties or spiralic thought patterns that lead us into anxiety. I want to point out also that there's quite a sense of love in your reading right now. So we have Venus, Libra, which is the house and sign of partnerships. We have the Kiss. We have Justice, ruled by Libra. We have the Chariot, which is Cancer, very emotional. And so there is this feeling that I get that, you know, some of you are having an intertwining in your career life with your partnerships or your sense of love and connection, your sense of luxury. You could be very blessed in both of these departments in some way, but you're kind of letting your anxiety get to you. or you're letting distractions kind of happen, or you're coming into a new partnership even that could be either business or love or both. But before we go too deep into everything, I want to just go ahead and point out that I'm doing a different style of reading today, where I have all of the cards laid out for you to see. We have 2 of the Kim Kranz decks, the Archetype and the Spirit Animal deck. We have the Runes for Modern Life, the Lakshmi deck, Black Moon Astrology cards, and the Ethereal Visions Tarot deck. And also, before we get into all this, I'm going to roll my astro dice. We're going to see what sort of signs are present, timelines, and different themes to just get an overall view of what's going on here. Okay, so we have the 9th house, which is ruled by Sagittarius, associated to Jupiter and expanse and travel, philosophy, religion, college, higher learning. We have the Sun associated to Leo, and then we also have Gemini. Now, I'd also like to note with the 9 here, this could be a timeline of 9 days, things coming to you, a cyclical event being completed, which makes me feel like some of you could be graduating from college when this big career shift happens, or graduating from something, completing a course, completing something online, etc. And also bringing that up because Gemini is very philosophical, very collaborative, has peers, so a lot of you may be being called to get some sort of certification, degree, complete an old project that's been needing to come up. There could be a sense of collaboration in your career that is guiding you forward, and those collaborations are definitely a hot spot that we might be paying attention to during this reading. Now, maybe there is some sort of love interest at work. Maybe you are interested in bringing a love interest into your work life, etc. I do sense that there's a godly type of opportunity around you with work that's going to be coming to fruition. You might be sealing the deal, if you will, so there could be an important deal, a raise, a new contract that you're going to be signing, that could really affect your work life. I do think some of you could also be moving or making some sort of change with a lover that could be affecting your work life. No matter what, though, there is a lot of money coming your way. There's a lot of good fortune and charity circulating around you right now, because when we have Fehu and the 6 of Pentacles and Venus, there's a sense of luxury. There's a sense of money coming in. Like here, she's dressed in furs, she has her wiener dog, she's eating lobster and champagne, there's this buff dude in the back, they're at some sort of hotel. There's a sense of luxury around her, very Venusian type of energy here. And you also have Venus and Libra, which are both associated to Venus. And then Justice, also associated to Libra. And then we have the 6 of Pentacles with the scale. So Libra could be an important type of energy or sign or something to pay attention to. Libra rules business partnerships, love partnerships, the conjoining of things, signing contracts, etc. So there's a big change headed your way, and I think it's going to happen pretty fast here, because we do have the Knight of Swords, which is fast, determined movement, really heady type of people, really logical, to the point, examining, and headstrong, sure type of personality circulating around. I would like to point out, though, that the Knight of Swords is a very fast-moving, he's the double-elemented air part of the tarot, and we have a lot of air energy with the Libra coming up, and then we have the Rabbit. So amidst all of the beauty, you could be getting thrown off a little bit, because the Rabbit doesn't have a very strong attention span. It can be very fear-based, it can be all talk. So just because you have a lot of resources and a good idea doesn't mean that it's all just going to happen magically. You also are going to have to put the work in. You need to stay determined and focused during this next cycle of your career life, because I do get a sense that there could be, you are destined to have this period of luxury and money and wealth, but you need to make sure that it's going to be long lasting. You need to have a plan for what you're going to do with your money once you start to call it in. So Spirit is really guiding you to lay down a structure in which you're going to be using your money, which is why contracts and partnerships could be useful, because people around you may have good ideas for you. This could be parents, loved ones, business partners. Listen in on other people's ideas because you need to delegate your money and invest properly. Whether that be into your savings or into a literal investment and what have you, there are going to be some fast moving pieces, and it's up to you to stay grounded and not get too wound up or in your fear, because you want to be able to enjoy this increase, this beauty, this love, this prosperity, this magical sense of luxury that's coming in for you. So much opportunity, but you need to stay vigilant and grounded and determined amidst all of that, because you can maximize this, or you could just ride it out and it could diminish, But either way, you're going to be the person giving back to your family. You're going to be the person that people borrow money from, and rather than you asking to borrow money. There's a big increase headed your way. And the Chariot being here makes me feel like you're kind of doing an inside job. As your material wealth increases, as your ability to cultivate security in the real world is happening, it's going to highlight where you haven't cultivated security or happiness or togetherness inside of yourself, which is why I think kind of the rabbit is coming up, and this Tibetan quartz is so important, because it's easy to get all wrapped up in the material realm when there's such beauty and love and all these things. You have to be cautious not to abuse substances or codependently latch on to other people, overspend, get a new shopping addiction. Like, there's a lot of things that you could fall into that are habitual and not useful for your growth. So Spirit's really encouraging you to have some sort of structure and routine, so that you're not just flying all around your head and jumping from one task to another and spending money frivolously. Wow. Being more frugal and letting opportunities come to you and sitting with them and thinking a lot is going to be to your benefit, because you are right where you're meant to be. This is not like a threat of like, oh, it's all going to run out. It's more just like, this is an important test and challenge for you to experience that sense of increased self-worth and know that you deserve all of the beauty and luxury headed your way, that you deserve the increase, that you're able to hold that space. And being able to hold that space means being grounded, having a routine, having a self-help sort of practice going on, and knowing that sometimes you might struggle with anxiety, or you might struggle with fear, or you might struggle with paranoia, or you may struggle with staying grounded, but that those times will pass, and it's important to return to the structures that do serve you, and keeping the people around you that can ground you, and being able to listen and not be too self-absorbed. Because I think you have a lot going on in many areas, and staying as patient and perseverant and able to listen and sit still is very important for you, because that's a lot of energy to manage. So my biggest pieces of advice here are, don't just jump the gun and sign contracts and do things quickly. Really take your time to examine. Think about what you need to do with your money. Start those savings accounts. Don't just hop on a plane. Don't just go do stuff without first setting up the fundamentals of security for yourself, because you do have a lot of things coming your way, and it's going to be beautiful and dazzling. And I do think that your family will very much benefit from this next round of security that you're cultivating. And the last card that I haven't touched on yet is 31, Sri Rama, the King of Dharma. So there's a sense of redemption that kind of surrounds this next period of your career, where you're like, I always knew I was meant to get this raise. I always knew I was meant to live this lifestyle. I always wanted to do this as a child. But there could be some tests that come alongside that, and they could be regarding love. So if you have a partner involved, maybe listen to them and make sure you guys are grounded together. Make sure you and your business partners are grounded together. Don't hop into anything or stir the pot even more, because it's already stirring pretty fast. Be more of the spoon holder, right? The person who controls how fast things move. So I hope that this served you. If it did, please leave a comment below. If something didn't serve you, leave it right where it is, because it was probably meant for somebody else. And I'll see you in my next reading. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Bye. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to your What's Next in Career reading. I'm so excited to be giving you this reading. As you can see, we're doing it a little bit differently today, where instead of going deck by deck, we're having all of the cards spread out for you to see at once. We have two Kim Kranz decks. We have the Archetype and the Animal Spirit deck. We have the Runes for Modern Life deck. We have the Lakshmi Oracle, the Ethereal Visions Tarot deck, and the Black Moon Astrology Oracle deck as well. And right off the bat, I'm seeing this sense of kind of divinity coming up for you. I mean, when we have Ansas, and I know I never pronounce the runes right, when we have this rune here together with the Temple and Pisces, I believe, plus Temperance, there is this sense of spirituality around you. So maybe your belief system is starting to change. You may have taken up some sort of prayer type of routine, meditation type of routine. You may have had a spiritual experience of some sort that recently changed things for you. We also have the Hanged Man inversed over here, so that can mean like your feet are coming back onto the ground now. So maybe you had some sort of aha moment, and it gave you an idea for your career, whether that be, you know, I need to make an adjustment in my career life, I need to start a new business, I want to pursue a career in the arts, in the realm of spirituality, I want to be a tarot reader, like whatever is standing out to you, that has a lot to do with your next chapter of career. So before we go any further, I'll roll these astrology dice, and we'll see significant planetary and zodiac energies, timelines, and this will just give us a little bit of an overview of some of the energy that could be present for you, Pile 3. Okay, 12th house, again, Pisces rules the 12th house. Pisces is all about the outer realms, the subconscious, the dream realm, the unconscious, what is in secret, what is private, what is up for interpretation and abstract. Then we have the moon, a very feminine, fluid, intuitive planet of cycles. And then we also have Aries, so this sense of new beginnings, the body teaching us lessons, our ego wanting to come into a new sense of identity, wanting to really start something up. Looking around, we also have Mercury retrograde reinvention, so I do get the feeling that maybe you've ended something or are thinking of ending something soon. You want to change the way you look at your career. Your dialogue has to shift for your identity to be something that fulfills you. You're looking towards more expansion, and Spirit is recognizing that about you and sending angels and sending guides to help open up doors for you. We have Lakshmi herself, the goddess of good fortune. She's a goddess that I've worked with many times to shift my career. And you may find that, you know, you're trying to manifest something. You have a lot of brilliant ideas. I see that with the Knight of Wands over here inversed, but next to it is the Page of Wands upright. I think you have a lot of ideas, and you even have a lot of people possibly that you could see being of use to you. There's something about, though, something's not being connected fully yet. Like there's this sense of maybe you don't have the exact right connections, or you're shifting, you're pivoting your interests, so you need to make new connections, and you're kind of coming into this new zone, this new space, and there's a lot of newness, and so in that way there's endings and beginnings circulating around your career life. Overall, the divine is totally blessing you and keeping you safe, but I do think that there needs to be a good grounding practice. Be very cautious of substance abuse here, because we have a lot of these cards that kind of signify escapism here, and that could definitely be a derailing device for your career. It's more about cleansing for you and making more space. So as you end old things, be careful not to fill up your energetic space with new habits that aren't actually helping you and are just substituting that sense of fulfillment. that you're seeking at this time. So you do have a lot of ideas that do need to be tested. You're reinventing things. So you may have felt like you were really good at other things, or you have all these beautiful ideas, but now you're entering into this space that's a little bit less an area of your expertise, or your next phase in life could feel like you're somewhat of a novice and you're just trying to figure out how to make a living doing what you want to do. And it's clear that Source definitely has this idea of expanse and reinvention. So your next phase of career life is very much tied to your identity. You're being called into a time that also returns you to past issues, and you're kind of alchemizing old wounds. Your inner child could be coming up to tell you, that you're doing a good job here, but other places need to be fixed. A lot of dream work could be coming up. So following your intuition at this time is very important, and you may be surprised to find that, when you do one little thing in this area, when you go to the store at that certain time, if your intuition is calling you to people, places, and things, or you're suddenly invited out to go somewhere, or there's just something that happens by chance of fate, that will have this huge ricochet butterfly effect in your career life. So it's very much up in the air right now and spiritual. And don't really pursue anything unless it's completely grounded and all of the things that kind of come with whatever you're going to pursue. Just because I think this period of time is more about cleansing and getting grounded and treating yourself better. Like you might have had a job in the past or had a period of time where you were sort of using things and people to escape because it was taking such a toll, and now you're ready for that next phase of feeling fulfilled. And that's definitely the biggest overarching theme in the next part of your career, is that you're here to find fulfillment. And I would highly recommend chanting to Lakshmi, looking her up, making an altar to her, because she's here to heal your money. And her being next to the horse is definitely a wealthy, money healing spirit animal. So do have a lot of faith in the divine, that you're being guided on this path to not only find spiritual wealth and the wealth of fulfillment, but also physical wealth in an arena that maybe you never believed you could have it in. So there's not a lot of predictions here. This is a very trackless sort of reading in terms of these cards. So I would just pay attention to the signs and stay very patient, and don't do anything that substitutes that sense of happiness that you're looking for. Every day put a little bit towards, what's calling you, and stay grounded, and put your health and your groundedness first, and you will find that things just start to fall into place. If this resonated with you, please leave a comment below. Subscribe to my channel, and until next time, I'll see ya. Bye!